Okay, you're all set?
Okay, I'm going to open the Tuesday, June 15th, 2021 meeting of the East Longmeadow Planning Board. I think the first thing I want to say is it's awfully nice that after almost 15 months away that we are actually here in person. It's nice to have 4 of the 5 of us in one room together along with Bethany and Rebecca. So maybe that we are returning a little bit to normal. So it's a wonderful thing here in the town of East Longmeadow. So I'm going to call the roll. So Peter Punderson.
Here.
Jonathan Torsha.
Here.
George Kingston.
Here.
Russell Denver. Here. And Tide Richards. Virtually here. Okay.
Max headroom.
So we have some procedural business that we need to take care of. So if you've been watching any of our meetings, you know it's with great regret that our planning board member Tide Richards will resign at the end of or tomorrow. He has been the clerk of the board for quite some time, so we need to nominate a new clerk. So do I have any nominations?
Nominate John.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So any discussion? So, we don't have to do by roll call. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So,
Sorry, John.
John, Tide has been the alternate commissioner to the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. So would you also accept that appointment as well?
I will. Very good.
Okay, thank you very, very much. So the first item is the approval of the May 18th, 2021 meeting minutes. I know that Rebecca had sent them out to everybody. So I'm wondering if anyone has any corrections, additions, subtractions, anything they might want to add. Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the planning board minutes of the May 18th, 2021 meeting?
So moved.
Second.
So motion made second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
One opposed.
Abstain because I wasn't.
Okay, so no nays and 1 abstention. So Mr. Clerk, first item, please. Would you read it?
Yes. Case.
Hey, by the way, I may point out, this is the first meeting ever I've not been.
Well, you just froze and we didn't hear everything you said.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
I got big shoes to fill, Ty. Case SPRW 2021-21. Request for site plan review waiver for a mental health counseling office in an existing structure at 40 Crane Avenue, Assessors Parcel ID 27-21-0 and a 1.35 plus or minus acre site in the industrial zone district. Applicant Yejedi Bell, 40 Crane Ave, East Longmeadow, MA.
So is the petitioner available? So if the petitioner is there, if you could hit the raise your hand button and be identified.
Oh, yes.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
good. I was trying to figure out how to get on.
Modern technology, the wonders of it all. So thank you for joining us. So I think we would just like to start with, tell us a little bit something about yourself, about your business, what your hours of operation are going to be, what your number of clients you might expect to see on a daily basis, and we'll just start from there.
Okay, so recently I had a baby, so my plan has been thwarted a little bit. I want to see clients 4 times a week, and it's going to be, a maximum of 5 clients a day, and it's going to be through regular business hours, 9 to 5.
Okay. Congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
Questions from the board?
Which building is that, actually?
So which,
The building that I'm gonna be in?
Yeah.
So it's actually a medical, it's Meadows Medical Center, which is a family medical practice already that's existing. And I'm pretty much gonna be subletting space.
Yeah.
there.
okay. Do you specialize in a certain type of mental health counseling?
Yes, and see, I do a lot of couples counseling, some substance abuse counseling, and just individual family therapy. I do anxiety disorders, trauma, and depressive disorders.
Okay. Any questions from the members of the board?
Sounds good.
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. That item passes. Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Case SPRW 2021-22, request for site plan review waiver for a home office located at 5 Murray Court, Assessors Parcel ID 26-13-5 on a 0.51 plus or minus acre site in Residence C zoning district. Applicant Samuel Conroy, 5 Murray Court, East Longmeadow.
So is the applicant available?
I am. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
I don't have a camera available.
Okay. So we'd like to know a little something about yourself, the type of business you're going to have, what potential hours of operation you're going to have, and we'll start from there.
So my name is Sam Conroy. I'm a recent graduate of the Eisenberg School of Management. I plan on starting a photography business just in my spare time. Hours of operation are going to vary quite a bit, but likely in the evening time, I will be doing shoots off-site, so there won't be anything at my home residence. And what was the last question you had for me?
No, I think that was it. We want to, yeah, we want to make sure you were not having clients going to your home. So
No,
that was-
all of the client business will be off-site.
All right. Questions from the board?
No, sounds good.
Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver for 5 Murray Court?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. Hearing none. So that item has been approved. Best of luck to you on your new business.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, case SPRW 2021-23, request for site plan review waiver for a skincare business at 51 Prospect Street, Assessors Parcel ID 27-154A-A on a 0.23 plus or minus acre site in the business zoning district. Applicant Stephanie Berry, 51 Prospect Street, East Longmeadow, MA.
Is Ms. Berry available?
Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
how are you? Thank you
Good. How
for,
are you?
thanks for all the technology and everything we're doing here. I greatly appreciate it. Do you have a camera? Do you have a camera
I
on?
do. I'm trying to. Did I put it on?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Technology.
It's a wonderful thing sometimes.
Yes.
So what we like to start off with is something, tell us a little something about yourself, what your background, the business, hours of operation, clientele, how often you're going to be open, and that type of thing.
Okay. Okay. So I actually have been an esthetician for about 20 years. The majority of the years have been in East Longmeadow starting. I worked at a salon on North Main Street, Elite Image Salon, and then I moved over to Shaker Road and I was there for about 14 years. I moved to People's Massage. Unfortunately, with the COVID, we were forced to close down, and I found a new location at 51 Prospect Street to take my clients over there, renting a room upstairs on the second floor.
So is people still open
People's is not open anymore. They closed back in, I think, May, actually, May or June.
And are you taking the spot they had on Prospect Street?
No, so they were located on Shaker Road, 145 Shaker Road. And then they closed, and then I found a spot on Prospect Street.
What building is it?
Yeah, which
What
which
building is
side?
51 Prospect?
It's Cabello Hair Salon is there right now. They're downstairs, and yeah.
We're gonna be on the right-hand side?
No, actually, there's a small place right upstairs. It's just a couple of rooms that I'm taking.
Client, number of clients a day, idea?
Honestly, I probably only work about 3 days a week, taking maybe 5 clients a day max.
All right, questions from the board?
No.
Okay, so hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the site plan waiver for 51 Prospect Street?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion made second, any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none. So this item passes. And thanks for staying in town. Greatly appreciate it. So
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Next item.
All right, case SPRW 2021-24, request for site plan review waiver for home office for Go Progress, an online business offering digital marketing, coaching, and consulting at 201 Gates Ave, Assessors Parcel ID 12B-7-145 on 0.23 plus or minus acre site in the Residence C zoning district. Applicant Dania Guzman Collado, 201 Gates Ave, East Longmeadow.
So just before we get going, so is this 4 and 5 are the exact same? Go Progress Media. Progress. Okay. Okay. All right. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
So why don't we just do both 4 and 5 at the same time, but then we'll take separate votes. Sure. On that.
You want me to read number?
Yeah, why don't you read 5 as well? Thank you.
Case SPRW 2021-25, request for site plan review waiver for home office for Go Progress Media, an online business offering digital marketing, coaching, and consulting at 201 Gates Ave, Assessors Parcel ID 12B-7-145 on 0.23 plus or minus acre site in the Residence C zoning district. Applicant Dania Guzman Collado, 201 Gates Ave, East Longmeadow, MA.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, what your plans are for use of the building there, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So I'm Dania, and I am planning to start an online business where I am helping clients to connect with consumers to sell products, more on knowledge products, and doing sales funnels and things of that nature. And I'd also eventually do coaching alongside with it. My background, currently I have a full-time job. I do research, and I work in a research organization. And I don't intend to have anyone in the residence. It's fully online.
Okay. So what's the difference between Go Progress and Go Progress Media?
Yeah, so it's partly for when I do the websites and online for the branding. I want to make sure that when I'm doing marketing services, I can do Go Progress Media. And then Go Progress is for coaching and other types of business, but they're both. Eventually, my plan is to create an LLC. And so that Go Progress Media is is associated with Go Progress, but I'm not quite there yet. So I want to make sure that I can use the branding without getting, make sure that I can use the branding for Go Progress Media and Go Progress.
Questions from the board?
No, sounds good.
I'm hearing none. So let's start with the site plan waiver for Go Progress at 201 Gates Ave. Do we have a motion to approve the waiver?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None. So that passes. So then item number 5 for Go Progress Media at 201 Gates Ave. Do I So a motion to approve,
So moved.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
About
Hearing none?
time.
What's that?
I can't vote because we
Okay.
don't have.
We don't have remote participation.
Oh.
So you're all set with both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Item 6.
All right, case SPRW 2021-26, request for site plan review waiver for Pretty Pineapple Beauty Bar, a weight loss business located in an existing structure at 42 Harkness Ave. Assessors parcel ID 12-3-5 on a .28 plus or minus acre site in the business zoning district. Applicant Elena Espejo, 20 Fellow Terrace.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? I
I'm
guess
good.
before we get started, I have to tell you, once in a while, we get some businesses in here with some really creative names. Really creative names. So I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
So,
You ca-
so tell us a little something about yourself, the business, operation. We'll get going from there.
Okay, so I'm Eliana Espejo, I'm 25 years old. I have a 1-year-old. She's turning 2 next month. What I do is pretty much everything that's non-invasive. So it's body sculpting. It's actually something that's coming up now. I used to live in New York. And in New York, it's like big. A lot of females take care of themselves and they're doing these treatments, and as well as doing lashes and everything, pretty much everything in the beauty industry. And I started here in a small little office downtown, and I've just been growing. So I feel like I want to expand into a bigger location and have like somewhere where my clients can feel actually more comfortable going in.
Yep.
too.
So 42 Harkness is, what else is in that building?
There's a barber shop downstairs. There's a beauty salon on the left side.
So it's Mike's Barber Shop?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
And then I would be the one upstairs.
And your hours of operation are anticipated to be?
And right now, it's most likely everything by appointments, but once COVID and everything settled down, I want to be open like 9 to 5.
Okay. All right.
About 8 clients a day.
Good. All right. Questions from the board?
She said 9 to 8, 9 clients a day, but that's fine.
You saw the health department comments?
I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'll
Go
let
ahead.
you do that.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, are you doing microblading?
I'm not.
Okay, that's good. And the ultrasonic treatment that you do, is that regulated in any way by the state? Do you need a license for that, or?
You need a certificate because it's non-invasive, so it's no downtime. No downtime. Sorry.
Okay, but the certificate is saying that you're capable of doing it. It's not a state license or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
saying I'm capable of doing it. I actually I have them all here.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So it would just be helpful if maybe you made a copy of that and send it into the planning department so we can just have it on the file.
No problem.
Okay. Any other questions from the board members? Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to approve the site plan waiver for the property at 42 Harkness Avenue?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Hearing none. That matter passes. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.
Mr. Clerk, next item, please. Number 7.
Case A&R 2021-03, 50 Gerard Ave. Request by applicant for endorsement of plan to leave not to require subdivision approval under subdivision control law to combine 2 parcels. 50 Gerard Ave, Assessors parcel ID 2B-44-500, and Lyric Ave, Assessors parcel ID 2B-43-497, to create new parcel A 13 plus or minus square foot located in the Residence C zoning district. Applicant Diane F. Kavanaugh and Michael Fitzgerald, 50 Gerard Ave, East Longmeadow.
So I take it you're Mr. Fitzgerald?
No, I'm Mr. Smith from Smith Associates.
I can't see. I can't see. The TV's about 30 feet away, so I can't see it. I'm sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
Okay. Why don't you just tell us what it's all about, please?
Yeah, so basically the existing parcel has, the existing deed consists of two parcels. So they are going to be just combining the two parcels into one.
Hold on, you're being moved. Okay.
Sorry.
Questions?
No, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward, yeah.
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to endorse this plan?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. So on the motion to endorse the plan for item number 7, 50 Gerard Avenue, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say nay. That item passes. Okay, item 8.
All right, case ANR 2021-04, Windsor Lane, Shaker Road. Requested by applicant for endorsement of a plan believed not to require subdivision approval under subdivision control law to reconfigure lot lines of existing land of the SIVAD nominee trust into new parcel B3-3R, Assessors Parcel ID 20-24-3, 42,395 plus or minus square foot, in Lot A, Assessors Parcel ID 20-9-0, 1,258,784 plus or minus square feet located in the Residence A and Commercial Zoning Districts. Applicant John H. Davis, trustee, and Stephen A. Davis, trustee, the SIVAD nominee trust, P.O. Box 15709, Springfield, MA.
So this one's going to take a little more explanation. So
Yeah, so this one here, as some of the board may be aware, at one point was approved as a subdivision, which is no longer being built. It was never recorded. And they have since decided to join that with a strip of land out to Windsor Lane to create just one parcel.
So I have your map or your site. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay.
So you can see the strip of land running between the lots out to Windsor Lane. And that is included in the overall Lot A, which runs obviously Shaker, Pease.
Were you on the board at that time?
Yes, I was. What's the frontage on that?
Meaning what? On what street? I mean, it has frontage on Shaker Road, frontage on Pease Road, where the little entrance is, and now the strip of land on Windsor.
Well, either the strip of land on Windsor or the strip of the one on Pease Road, the little thing on Pease Road.
It's all on the same parcel.
Yeah. What's the frontage on those?
I'm sorry. Now I understand your question. I'm sorry. The strip on Windsor is about 52 feet, just over 52 feet. And the strip on Pease Road is 100 feet.
And the required frontage for this zone?
I believe it's 140.
So the reason I ask that is you have a lot of frontage on Shaker Road, but it's not accessible.
Yeah, so the idea here would be that this parcel was already in existence based on the frontage on Shaker and the frontage on Pease, and all we're doing is adding the strip on Windsor. So we're just adding property to it. We're not creating anything other than that strip out to Windsor Lane.
But it would not be a building lot because it doesn't have accessible frontage.
So on that one, I believe that the clients had been in touch with their lawyer. I think they talked to the building department and the planning board, and their thought process was that there are 4 other adjacent properties on Windsor Lane that utilize basically the same situation here. They have a driveway in a strip off of Windsor Lane with frontage on another street. And they were going to use the 50-foot strip off of Windsor Lane as access for a driveway to the rear, using Shaker Road as their frontage, legal frontage, with the thought process that it's been previously allowed on 4 adjacent lots, which are, I think, 45 Windsor, 47 Windsor, 49 Windsor, and 51 Windsor, I think are the addresses. They're actually the next 4 uphill from Windsor, all have the exact same situation where they have a strip out to Windsor Lane with a long driveway back to a house, and their frontage being, I think, on, if you give me 1 second, I can tell you which streets they're fronting on.
I know that the lots you're talking about, that the point there is that was done because of the slopes. In this case, you do not have accessible access to Shaker Road because of the wetlands.
It's all wetlands.
And that therefore you cannot use that as frontage.
Okay.
There's a lot of case law on that already. Basically, you have to, whether or not you utilize that particular frontage for your access, you have to have access for it to be a building lot.
You have to have access, or I have to have my frontage and access be the same point?
You
My
can't-
access needs to be at my frontage?
Yes.
You have to have access
You have
on
to
the
be
front.
able to have access on the frontage.
Even if you don't put it there, you have to have access, and it's all wetlands.
So doesn't that contradict the 4 adjacent lots on Windsor Lane? They have,
No, it doesn't. They have access from the other street. They're just not utilizing it.
Okay. I didn't think that was the case, but okay, I understand. I guess I'll have to run that by my client's legal counsel and see what their thoughts were. I think they had been led to believe in discussions with the town that this would be all right based on previous use. So I would have to have them attend the next hearing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not just pulling this out. We went through this on another proposed A&R.
Yeah.
For about 5 years ago on a completely different lot, different place. And we dug up the case law at that time. And in fact, there is case law that says you can't have frontage that is inaccessible due to wetlands.
Okay.
That's case law. You may want to mention that to your legal counsel.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not trying to be difficult here.
No, I understand. I understand that there's, I have read some of the case law regarding the illusory frontage. And I think that they were under the understanding that one of the concerns with that is that if the town were to issue them a street address on the frontage, not knowing that there would be access from a side street, that can confuse fire and rescue and things like that. And that was one of the concerns of it. But I think they had looked into the fact that even the other lots that I had mentioned, although their frontage is on adjacent streets, their addresses are on Windsor Lane. So they're addressed on a street with substandard frontage, same condition we would be. And I understand that the access, I guess, is different. I think one of the concerns why they did not put driveways on those other lots is because of the grading issues.
Mhm.
And I think that in that case law, grading issues and wetlands are classified the exact same way. It's an inability to access, whether it be over wetlands or whether it be because of grade. I don't think that changes the scenario. If you understand what I'm saying?
It sounds like you know the case law. You know the term illusory frontage. So I'm going to let you go back and do some more research on that.
Okay.
I don't think I was on the board when those pork chop lots were approved, but in any case, if the board erred in the past, it's something we need to err in the future.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
suggest you look into that. And I suggest, should we continue this?
Yeah, why don't we continue?
Yeah, let's
it?
continue.
Okay.
So our next regularly scheduled meeting is going to be the 20th of July.
Okay.
So is that correct? I thought we had Okay, we can put you on for next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, that'll give me time. I can make some phone calls when I get out of here and try to get some time to discuss with these people so we come better prepared for the next one.
okay. So do I have a motion to continue item 8 to the next regular scheduled meeting, which is the 22nd of June?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck, Todd.
Thank
See you,
you.
Mike.
Item 9, Mr. Clerk.
Case SP 2021-4, 562 North Main Street, request by applicant for special permit for change of ownership at an existing restaurant at 562 North Main Street. Assessors parcel ID 2B-77-561, located in the business zoning district. Applicant Friendly's Restaurant LLC, 1938 North Woodlawn, Suite 110, Wichita, Kansas.
Is there someone here from Friendly's?
Yes, there is. My name is Sue Roberts.
Do you have a camera?
I'm on my phone. I got caught in a hailstorm, so I'm in my car. Please forgive
Okay.
me. I'm trying to access on my phone.
No problem.
Let's
So,
see here. There we go.
oh, perfect.
Hello.
Where's the hailstorm?
It's over between Concord and Keene, New Hampshire. I'm headed to Keene. But I'm out of it, but I was hoping to be landed before this meeting.
Okay. So tell us what you hear in front of the board for.
Certainly. Friendly's Restaurant has been a neighbor and a local restaurant in East Longmeadow for a long, long time. The end of last year, we were acquired by Amici Partners Holding. And so we are now a change of ownership, basically. And so through that, we wanted to renew our license within our new company. So nothing's changing in terms of operations, food that we're serving, menu that we're serving, any of that. We've had the Board of Health out to inspect, just make sure our facilities are, up to snuff with a change in ownership, and just want to kind of close the loop so that we can have licensure under our new ownership.
So before we open the public hearing, any questions from the board? So this is a special permit, so it does require us to conduct a public hearing. So I'm going to open the public hearing, and if there's anyone in the audience that would like to be heard, would you please raise your Zoom hand so you can be recognized? So I believe Jennifer,
Yes, I am the current general manager there.
okay. So do you want to speak in favor of this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard on this matter? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
So a motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I bring it back to the board. Any further discussion or questions?
It's pretty straightforward. I'm glad they filed for the special permits, so we get the right name on it.
Yep, and very happy that you're continuing operation. Many moons ago, after baseball and soccer games, I would go for my ice cream cones.
We used to go down and have an awful couple of little cheeseburgers that were so good when you were like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Back in the early
You can still come.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome. You can say your fribble, okay?
Okay. All right, so hearing none, do I have a motion to approve this special permit for 562 North Main Street?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made in second. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Making me hungry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. This matter passes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck and safe driving.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Item 10, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, case SP 2021-5, 45 Baldwin Street. request by applicant for special permit for a brewery and tap room at 45 Baldwin Street. Assessors parcel ID 27-11-C, located in the industrial zoning district. Applicant Brew Practitioners LLC, 53 Forest Glen Road, Longmeadow, MA.
Are oh, there you are. We don't usually get someone on that quick, so thank you. Okay. So tell us about the business, what you have in mind, the location, hours of operation, number of employees, hours of operation, that type of thing.
Hi, I'm Tansy Cannon-Eckerly. Tanzania is my full name. I'm Tansy for short. It's much easier. I'm the majority owner of Brew Practitioners. We have been in business, well, operated for 6 years, going on 7 now, down because of COVID for about a year now. So we're eager to get back at it. Before COVID, we had approximately 10 employees, sometimes upwards around 15. I do work in the business as the member manager. My husband here, Joe Eckerly, is the head brewer. I'm the assistant brewer. And we also have my stepson that is currently working with us. We do have plans to hire, but we haven't done so just yet. You guys are probably very aware of the market right now. So before we made offers of employment, we wanted to make sure you guys were okay with us being in town.
So where were you before for the previous 6 years?
We were in Florence, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Our lease was up March of 2021 this year. So we had a 5-year lease with option to a 3-year lease with 3 one-year options to renew. Yep. And we had just grown, and we were down in operations, and it was just time.
Okay. So because we're on video, sometimes the public isn't able to see everything. So I'm going to ask you additional questions just so that the public who might be watching can find out more about the project. So you're on Baldwin Street. Can you, for the public, let us know what was in that building prior to you wanting to go there?
Just prior to us being there, it was a gym, a workout gym that had, I believe they had the full site there. We are actually requesting to use just a portion of the site. Okay. And they had a little kitchenette up front.
And how much of what's the square footage of your proposed operation?
Ours is approximately 3,500 square feet interior with about 400 square feet patio area in the very back of the building, which would be, is that south facing?
West facing.
West facing. Sorry.
So thank you for raising that point. So the patio is facing, I believe, Center Square.
Correct.
And Hill Track. So it's not facing the neighborhood. Now you know where it is. Yeah. So it's not facing the neighborhood.
No,
yeah, it's facing the public parking lot that's right out the back there.
Yeah.
So we do have a small space up front that was licensed by, so the way that it works with breweries is that we have to get the federal license, then the state license, and then the local license. And so the federal license is licensed for a little bit of a patio space up front just for the legal purposes. But right now our intent is just to have it in the back area that faces the trees.
Okay. So there is a parking area to the side of the building.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's going to be your primary parking area for your customers.
Correct.
Yes.
So tell this board and maybe other people who are watching, do you have any plans to shield that parking area from the neighborhood so they are not looking down onto the parking area?
So not right now. The parking area existed before we got the building. We did not build the parking area, so we just kind of moved into it. So it was there beforehand. And from what I understand, there hasn't been any concerns about the parking area. So I guess the question would be, what do you mean by shield?
Well, let's step back. So there's storage units being built there as well, right in front of that parking lot. So I think that from the construction that I see there today, the parking lot appears to going to be shielded with those buildings.
Yeah, I guess that's
and there will be a berm as well. So
okay.
surrounding the property.
Correct. Okay.
I'm asking too many questions, so please.
You're doing fine.
That's
So I
what
guess-
we're here for.
So the question, I think on most people's mind is there a way through signage to direct your traffic down Baldwin and not into the neighborhood?
We can do as much sign as you'll allow us to do.
Okay,
It's not a problem at all. I actually drove back through the subdivision just to see it for the first time this weekend, and it's not an optimal way to get out anyway, but
No, it's
we're happy
not.
to put some signs up. Just right down Baldwin.
yeah, there have been a number of hearings with that neighborhood, rightfully so, for the storage area, and there was great concern about traffic getting back in there and noise and so forth, so we'd like to try to maybe direct all the traffic down Baldwin.
Right. Which is a great way.
So it's not going into that neighborhood, so we kind of keep it a kind of a neighborhood kind of situation.
Agreed.
So maybe that is something that we would ask you to work with Bethany to maybe, I don't know if we're the right people to decide the appropriate signage. The police. Yeah.
DPW. The thing is, Glendale Road at that point is a private way,
Yeah,
but it's not marked that way.
Yeah.
So it might be, if it was marked as a private way, then it would discourage people from going in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that would have to be on town property, so it would be DPW who would end up doing it. Okay, so whatever works.
yeah. And if you could have just signage just at the entrance / exit of that parking area saying, please exit down Baldwin would be really helpful, I think. So.
No problem.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking questions. So the other major question I would suspect would, what are your anticipated hours of operation?
So historically, we have very narrow hours of operation. So Wednesday through Sunday was our extended hours. We're hoping to start with just the Thursdays right now, Thursday through Sunday.
Yep.
Thursday and Friday would be 5 o'clock opening time. And then the latest we are open to public is 10 o'clock. And then on Saturdays, it's usually from 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. until about 10 o'clock. And then Sundays, 12 or 1 until about 6 o'clock.
So I'm comfortable with 10 o'clock.
10
closing.
o'clock, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Put that in the permit.
Yeah. So we will make that a condition as of now. But so board members, please, before we open it to the public.
Are you planning any entertainment on the outside patio?
So as of right now, no. But when I will say, having been in business, this same type of business for 6 years now, what we'd like to do is listen to what the public wants. And early on, when we first started in Florence, we did not have entertainment. And what happened was the local area basically came and pleaded with us and asked that we provide a venue for local entertainers. And so we did do so. We went in front of the board and we got an entertainment license. But we are right now baby steps. So when we open, hopefully very soon, we will not have an entertainment spot. But like, again, I think that when you become part of a community, I think you should listen to what the community wants, and would hope that in the future that we could reserve the right for an entertainment license if that's what the area is asking for.
Specifically for the patio, though, I know you guys were asking about the patio. There is no plans for us to have entertainment on the patio at this time. So
Oh, it's too small.
when we apply for an entertainment license with you, then that we'll visit it at that point. But we never, in the 6 years we were in Florence, we never had entertainment on our patio there.
Well, we did have one time when they made the COVID rules that everything
Oh, we
had
had
to
to
be
go
outside.
outside. Yeah.
There's post-COVID. No, there's pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID. So. Go ahead.
What necessary health department permits are there for this? I mean, brewing, you're cooking, you're
So there,
serving.
Will there be food served?
It says it
Yes.
right-
Yes.
Okay.
Restaurant.
Yeah, it's gonna be finger foods like paninis and flatbreads. We are working with someone who's actually gonna do that. We've reached out to the Board of Health already to get an idea, but we will get the proper permitting for that. There is no permitting that we need to get for brewing other than from the state and the feds, which we already have. The states we should have by today. So really, we're looking for the special permit. Really is going to take us to the next level, which is a pouring permit. We're looking for a pouring permit from the city so we can actually pour them into pints and serve them to customers when they come into the building.
I can't speak as the chairman, but I think that any of your permits and licensing from the state should be forwarded to the planning board.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
for our record.
Just for our records.
Yep, no, absolutely. We sent some samples of what we had, but we'll, as soon as we get the state, which we should have today or tomorrow, we'll make sure you guys have that all for record as well. Absolutely.
Okay, so I didn't
All
hear.
health department conclusions and so forth. Yeah.
So this is a public hearing. So if there's no other questions by the board, John, do you have any?
What would be the capacity inside? How many people can you serve at once?
The capacity is 124 people as per the drawings and the architect currently, with the size of the building and the bathroom sizes.
So again, I want you to know, we have read your materials. We're just trying to get as much
Yeah, I want
information out to the public to know.
No problem, no
That's-
problem.
You know what? That's fine.
So is there anyone in the audience that would like to be heard on this matter? Would you please raise your Zoom hand and you can be brought into the meeting? Do we see anybody?
Oh, yes. Oh, two.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay.
Do you have a camera on your computer?
Yeah, we're trying.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
So I can see your fan.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I wonder what that was.
Thank you. Okay, so can you just introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Amy Hebert. I reside at 20 Glendale, which
Okay.
is the very first house on the left-hand side coming up the dirt hill that is in fact a private way.
Yep. All right,
Touched base on our concerns, and it is the traffic, and I'm glad that you brought it up. I'm glad that you suggested signage. However, the appropriate solve to that is to close it with a fire gate. There are several in the area. It's a very simple mechanism to use. And that would be the correct way to go to protect the neighborhood from any and all traffic.
can you
I
explain
was-
that? Can you explain what that fire gate is?
It's a gate that goes across the dirt road, and it has an access key that is either a key lock or a regular key that all fire, ambulance, and police department have access to, as including the DPW. I'm sure you can check the records. I believe there's 2 in town, and I know there's several in Longmeadow.
There's one at the church on Park Street, the right hand side.
And there's
That,
one-
that's the best solve.
Excuse me, where's the other one?
Back into the fields in Chestnut.
Yeah, so who is responsible and who can do that? Isn't it the owner of the private way?
I would think.
Do we know who the owner is?
So we've processed this concern several times, and the town has always told us and voted it no. So to have it be told now that it would be up to the private owner, that's new. We've gone through several.
I don't know that.
situations.
I don't know that for sure. I just threw that out there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know if we can, I mean, the petitioner doesn't own the private way.
Right.
So we can't put that condition on their permit.
Right.
No, but the town can do it.
Certainly, we can recommend that the town look at it, obviously. Yep.
I think it would be DPW, fire and police that would need to agree to this.
This has been a problem for a long time. It's a little dirt road. It
Yeah.
goes like this.
Right.
Her house is on the left.
Yep, I know exactly where it is.
Restaurant on the right.
Yeah.
Always a big problem.
Yeah, I walked it last week. Yeah, okay. Good.
As the previous general manager to the gym that was there, I can tell you that unfortunately, no matter what kind of signage you put up, no matter what you tell your patrons or members, they do cut through.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately a cut through. The back parking lot has become quite an issue with the police department coming and breaking up issues that are taking place in the back because it is very, private back there. There's a lot of concern with the traffic based on the, proposed clientele. And I have no problem with the brewery. I won't deny, I go to them.
Yep.
But do not want to see anybody cutting through the neighborhood after drinking beer.
Yep. So
There's a lot of kids in this neighborhood.
So I can tell you that we will bring this to the attention of the town council and ask them to review the request. But it's not something that we can put on the permit for this business. So we certainly will pass along that suggestion on that item.
And with Steve mentioned, you could have some responsible tenants that are gonna have a presence, and that, whatever's been going on back there that may be nefarious will probably cease and be a better situation for you. I understand.
Yeah, I would expect it not to, based on the fact that Health Tracks is there and it takes place in their parking lot as well, so it's not completely vacant. I do have a question in regards to the patio. I do believe it is east facing and that it's going to face the Health Track parking lot. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And will there be noise ordinance on any potential future entertainment?
So they would be required to go to the town council for the entertainment permit.
Mhm.
So there would be a hearing by the town council on an entertainment permit. So there would be a chance for you to be able to express your concerns if you have any regarding any music or other factors.
So you don't have an actual noise ordinance that you can specify that it has to be done by a specific time?
Bethany, do you know? Well, we are going to put a condition that the hours of operation end at 10 p.m.
Okay, so that would be the closing time for music.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to go any further. Yeah.
Okay.
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 What's that?
Andy has her hand up.
Oh, Tansy, did you want to address that?
Yes, thank you very much. And good question, Amy. So there should be, if there's not already, a local ordinance for sound ordinance, as well as probably a regional one as well. And just so you know, we are very aware. We live in Longmeadow, where Lawrence was a small town. We were right on Main Street, but it had neighborhoods around us. We were kind of like that neighborhood area where people went over to Cooper's Corner and grabbed, a gallon of milk, walked through, got a pint, and then walked home. So we're very neighborhood friendly. We have a kid, husband and wife. We don't want to be home late because we have day jobs. So it's not going to be like a bar type thing. But ordinance wise, we are very sure to not disturb the neighborhood. So we had the decibel meters on our phone. And if there was ever any concern and we thought that it was loud, we made sure that we, brought the bands down. And usually the bands that we had, it's not like we have like full heavy metal rock bands. It's usually a couple guys and the guitar, strumming in the corner. We do have a piano player. We did have a piano at Florence that I hope to be able to bring over eventually. Much to my husband's chagrin, but it's low key. We're not.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. But the point is yes, sometimes we had entertainment, we get lively, but it's usually done and over within a reasonable hour. And if there ever was an issue, we would just ask that you come over and talk to us, and we have our email, phone number. We don't live in that neighborhood, but we live in a neighborhood, and we completely understand what it's like to want to have peace of mind in your home.
Thank you. Yeah, because the whole storage bin thing, that was very discreetly put through during COVID once it sold and was purchased by a new company. So all our neighbors are very upset about how that all went down, because it was all news to us until they started to clear it. So, we all have quite some concerns.
So I'd like to read what the existing noise ordinance says. So it says radios, phonographs, and musical instruments. The playing of any radio, phonograph, or any musical instrument in such a manner or with such volume, particularly during the hours between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. as to annoy or disturb the quiet, comfort, or repose of person in any dwelling or any type of residence. So, did I miss something there? Yeah. Okay. Oh, they're declared unreasonable. It's declared unreasonable, those type of things. So, okay. All right. Any other items you'd like to address?
Not myself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone
Thanks,
else
Amy.
in the audience?
Hello. Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, good.
East Longmeadow.
All right.
Okay, they're on mute. Yeah.
Well, my name's Christian Garvey. I actually live across the street from Amy at 15 Glendale. So I first wanted to say that, like, not even 6 weeks ago, I was just saying that East Longmeadow needs a brewery. So I am, you know, quite happy. And for it to have food, even better. And walking distance, I do hope that you post something when you are hired. That would be a great commute for me. No experience though. But the concerns I have, the planning board does a great job of anticipating our concerns. Amy expressed them too. I just wanted to mention that not only is it a dirt road and hill, since right now, especially this time of year, you can't see the top of it at all. So it's a concern. It's already been raised. Just want to make sure that I said my piece on that, so I can tell my wife I did. But two was a question I had. If you do anything like timed releases that cause people to have to line up to get a certain type of, brew or recipe or whatever it is, if there are plans for that, I anticipate that could be a negative impact on the neighborhood if you plan to do that.
Okay.
So I'll answer that one. One of the things we didn't mention in the meeting was that we are probably one of the smallest breweries in Massachusetts. We're only a 3-barrel. We're nowhere near a Treehouse or a Fort Hill or anybody like that. Frankly, if people lined up outside the door for a new release, it'd probably take about 10 minutes to sell everything we've got. So it wouldn't be a very long line, very long. So yeah, we've never had a line outside the door. It's terrible. We wish we did. But we've never had it, and it's really, we're small, and it's more about the customer experience coming into the brewery, having a beer, not necessarily, and our canning process is 2 cans at a time. I'll have carpal tunnel if we have a line out the door as well. So it's again, it's more about the experience coming in and having a pint of beer.
Sure, that sounds great. And then the only other question I had is, the anticipation is that the existing parking is already enough for whoever would come. It sounds like yes, based on your recent description.
Yeah, that's what we paid the architect all this money for over the last 2 months. Yeah, so the parking is enough to house a maximum capacity, according to the architects.
Great. Well, good. Well, again, just the neighborhood, just the driving through. I don't know. I can't imagine why people drive up that road. I don't know why anyone would ever do it. It's terrifying. We have a 1.5-year-old son. I'm scared about it all the time, how quickly people come up it and how it's totally blind. Not your fault, not your responsibility. Appreciate that it's being talked about. And thank you for the signage. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Christian. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to be heard? Okay.
Eileen.
Hello. I'm actually on the corner lot of Glendale. My name is Eileen Letourneau. My address is Edmund Street, but I'm right there on the corner. So I'm about 2 streets away from Amy and Christian there. 2 houses, sorry. My biggest concern is the traffic, just like we've been talking about. I'm glad you addressed it, and the noise. Having small children, having had to grab them and almost like tackle them out of the road when cars are flying down Glendale, literally trying to catch air on that little hill, is a big problem. And it's been a problem for years, and we've been trying. This little street has been trying to make our voices heard, and no one is listening. Those storage units, we fought and fought and fought, boom, they get put up. No one is listening. It took years to get a stop sign at this 4-way at Edmund and Glendale. Years it took to get stop signs right there. So it's very frustrating to see another business that's going to be serving alcohol right there, as far as not only is there a nursery school, but all the children that are right here in the neighborhood. So that's my biggest concern. I'm not concerned about the actual business itself because, not gonna lie, I will probably be a patron of your business. But I very concerned about the noise and the traffic. We have Knights of Columbus right there on Baldwin, and they do their parties inside, and I can still hear the music inside my house with my windows and doors closed. So that's my biggest concern, is how these will be addressed as far as the traffic, the major issue. I agree with Amy as far as making not sign, we can have signs all day long. There actually is a sign on the telephone pole that says not a throughway. Doesn't matter. It's getting worse and worse. The more businesses that are put on the street, and it will be I don't want to see something happen in order for something to be done, is my biggest concern.
So if, oh, can I go? I'm sorry. If I can, I would like to respond to that. So I've listened to Amy and Christian and now you, Eileen, and it sounds like that first of all, this is not a new problem, right? It's an existing problem. And now you fear that we are going to exacerbate that problem.
Correct.
So I completely understand. What I would suggest is, so it sounds like that there's already some existing sign. Now you're going to have the U-Haul place there that has put up some, I guess, some berm area that might mitigate some of that. But it sounds like to me that maybe there needs to be a meeting of the minds, that we can think about a different way, maybe signage, not only in addition to something else, maybe some trees or something. It's not our land, it's city land. And it would have to be, so I'm sorry, let me just preface this with, I'm an attorney by trade, and so I do this quite a bit. It would be public property and all of your neighbors would have to agree, but we are happy to belong to any of those conversations. I am all about beautification, not necessarily about a big bar that, is a big metal thing in front of a road, but huge fan of arborvitaes, right? But ultimately it is not our land, and any of the conditions put on that land would not be tied to us, but I am happy to belong to that conversation. I'm happy to even be a venue where you guys can come in and discuss it, and better ways of approaching this problem for a new angle. Because if it's been existing for a long time, then going about it the same way, making a bigger, better sign probably isn't the answer. But I do think that, you've got, it looks like 4 or 5 very smart people sitting at the city council and some very concerned patrons in the neighborhood. And then now you have us coming in, and we're pretty creative. And I think hopefully we can be part of the solution and not someone that is going to exacerbate the problem. I will say that the type of patrons that historically breweries get, and especially our brewery historically, we're family people. People bring their dogs, people bring their kids. It's not a bar, hustle bustle bar where people are getting hammered and then running out the door. That's not who we are. And as a matter of fact, my law license would be on the line if that was something that we were doing. I don't want my kid around that. So it's not who we are. If you're probably not familiar with this, but there's an old show back in the 80s, Northern Exposure. Hollings Bar is one of my most favorite fantasy places. And that's our idea of what, the brewery would be, is a place where people are friends and they have conversations and they talk about things. And we certainly do not want to be part of anybody's problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do understand it's not going to be your issue right at that cutoff right there. It is town property. So thank you for addressing that. I just wish there was something that can be done. That's all. I think
we will commit to send correspondence to the town council, DPW, police, indicating the concerns that the neighbors have told us this evening, with suggestions that they have given on ways to resolve the issue. So we have heard you, and we will take your voices and we will send them to the appropriate authorities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen.
Okay, if there's no one else who wishes to be heard on this matter, I'd take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, close the public hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the public hearing is closed.
You know what I think it's time for? You talk about access in case of problems, you know, fire and all that. Well, there's access up right off of Maple Street, all the way up that road. About 5 or 6 one-ton boulders would be perfect for that spot. You're not gonna drive a fire truck up it. It's rutted, it's horrible, it's fairly steep. It's not really accessible to a regular on-road vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody should do something about this. I've been on the planning board, I don't know for what yours, I don't know, it's got a span 12 years or so. I've heard this thing a half a dozen times at
The
least.
point is, if it's a private way, it's owned by the abutters.
Yeah.
Okay, they own it.
Okay, then they just do
And,
something about it.
and they, by petition, could petition the town council to close the public way, the
It would be-
private way.
Be
close the
completely
private way.
reasonable, because it's not usable really.
Right.
You're gonna hurt your car going up there.
The only concern is to have a second access for police and fire.
Right, but
Which is, we know how to do that, okay? We know the kind of gates you can use. They've got them in Longmeadow as
right.
well.
So
on
a
what's
gate
that,
or boulders or
cut off
something,
street,
but
yeah.
close it off.
Yeah.
It's useless.
So I think to me, the right way to do this is to have the abutters on that street, the people that own that street, petition, put a formal petition to the town council.
So if they're still listening, listen up.
Okay, because then you have the agreement of everybody on the street. You can't do anything if one person objects.
I think there's only 2 people there. Maybe there's 4.
Maybe
It might be
4.
2 houses. I think there's
Maybe
2, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
So-
On the private part, yeah.
yeah.
So let's move this forward a little bit. So I think we've heard that petitioners' hours of operation, you wanted Wednesday through Sunday. And let's just make it 11 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the evening. So does someone want to make a motion for that to be a condition?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? John?
Only thing is if they want to change that in the future, they'll have to come back for amending the special permit, which is the way, the proper way to do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, John, did you?
Yeah, no, I think that gives them wide latitude. I
Yes.
think 10 is very reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So just on the condition, so motion been made, seconded, no further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Board have any other suggestions for a condition?
No, I mean, I think the comments from the public are, very important, but I think the point to be made from that that's very important is the abutters have to initiate the process.
Right.
I think we're all very much in favor of the idea of some type of blockage there, but we can't be the ones that initiate that. And, from what some of the public said, I don't ever recall voting against any type of barrier, but I do know that, we, I think, are a very supportive group of easing those traffic concerns. But it has to be something that the public or that these abutters make.
And I guess I would ask that, and I think you agreed to do this, appropriate signage, at least trying to direct people down Baldwin and not go that other location. If there's no other suggestions,
I think that some sort of confirmation of the signage should be on record in the building department with us, one or the other.
so I guess we would ask that you.
Just so we can reference that to somebody that may complain, say, well, they got signs, they've done what they're supposed to do. That's all.
So I guess we're going to ask that when you develop signage, that you reach out to Bethany, the director, and she can maybe reach out to DPW and the police department, and they can give you suggestions on whether it's appropriate. It's enough, the language is appropriate, that type of thing. And then that way, when you put it up, we'll have a record of it on file.
Okay, no problem.
So we're now down to, do I have a motion to approve the special permit with the conditions?
Second.
Motion made second. Any further discussion?
Nope, I think they did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Look forward to it.
Just one thing, we're a town, not a city. So I just want you to remember that. So,
Middle's a town too.
yeah. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That item passes. Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks,
you for
guys.
having us.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we have a brewery. We're on the map.
Not yet.
Yeah, so
Item 11.
Yeah, case SP 2021-6, massage therapist facility. Request by applicant for special permit for a massage therapist facility at 280 North Main Street, Suite 4, Assessors Parcel ID 14-12-F, in an existing structure located in the commercial zoning district. Applicant Christina Conti, Idle Moments Massage, 280 North Main Street, East Long Meadow, MA.
So is the applicant available?
I am.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I am good.
Thanks for joining us remotely. So we just
Well,
need.
thank you for having me.
So what would you like to present to the board?
I actually had this business opened up at 10 Crane Ave, and I had a special permit already for that location. I am waiting for this hearing and whether or not you guys give me approval for my new location, because I had to shut down my previous location due to COVID. And I moved into the Reminder Building, into Suite 4. And I now share that suite with Ginny Levine, who's also a massage therapist.
Questions from the board?
Straightforward. She's got a good business. She's got all the licenses. No problem.
Yeah. This is a special permit, so we do have to conduct a public hearing. So I'll open the public hearing.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this matter? Do we have anybody? Hearing none. Then the motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. So now back to the board.
Make a motion to approve the special permit.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the special permit for the for Christina Conti Idle Moments Massage. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. No nays, so that item passes. How quick was that? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I hope you got a great night.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk?
Okay, item number 12, request for full release of Rustic Meadows Silver Fox performance bond totaling $15,948.76. Applicant Carmine Capua.
And I don't think he's here tonight. This is the partial release a couple months ago. The street has been accepted by the town. The order of taking has been recorded. DPW has no issues with it, and now we are releasing the final.
So Tom Christensen's fine with everything. No more conditions. It's done.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. A motion to approve the full release.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the release. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, no nays.
Done.
Next item.
Item number 13, endorsement of subdivision plans, review, performance guarantee, and other documents for case FD-D 2021-1. Definitive subdivision plan for Josie Lane subdivision. Request by applicant for the definitive subdivision approval for a 2-lot subdivision, installation of a 150-foot road and cul-de-sac on 2.36 plus or minus acre site located at Peace Road, Assessors Parcel ID 32-34A-B in the Residence AA zoning district. Applicant Emmanuel Marino, 66 Lathrop Street, West Springfield, MA.
Mr. Levine, Attorney Levine, you're representing the petitioner?
I am indeed. Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Good. Pleasure to see you.
And probably like you, I've spent the last 16 months in Zoom meetings and I detest them. So thank you for having me. Mr. Marino sends his apologies. He works the second shift and he retained my services probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago. And we've been correcting and revising documents and I think we have them all in order. What you have before you tonight is a proposed covenant. I've educated both Mr. and Mrs. Marino on the significance of that. They had previously thought about doing some sort of performance bond or a savings book account. And for a number of reasons, that did not pan out quickly enough. So you have the covenant before you. You also have a proposed easement granted to the town. And that has been significantly revised. And that has been signed in full by the Marinos as well as the covenant.
And both documents were reviewed by town council.
And then the next slide. Questions for Attorney Levine?
Where is this on? Or Attorney
You can call me Larry. You know where with Lee Street intersects, just before you get from, if you're going down the hill past your house, and then you go past Lee Street, it would be on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay.
May have the map.
I got it right here. I just didn't know where it was. So was this the old lot that was there before the Goldstein's house was back there years ago? There's still a little like driveway that goes over the.
I don't know that answer.
So after Ralph Page's house on the left-hand side.
It's, yeah, let me see if I have a.
I'm trying to figure out, everything's so small, you can't read anything, it's tiny.
This is town.
It's not past my house.
So this is the one on the other side of Prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we talked about, yeah.
This is that one.
Yeah,
Right, I got it. Right.
Well, yeah, we know what this one is.
We've done this one before.
Yeah.
Any questions for Attorney Levine?
What is the purpose of the covenant? Can you just explain that a little bit?
Sure. The covenant is the obligation of the developer landowner to say, I'm going to put in all the road, I'm going to put in curbing, I'm going to do put in utilities, the water sewer line, pursuant to the agreement they have with DPW.
Okay.
And I'm not allowed to convey, sell, transfer any of the two lots in the subdivision without getting a release. You can get a release, he could, in theory, finish everything on the road, or he could post a savings account, or he could put a performance bond, and he understands that. And it's a cost savings if he has the ability to pay for the street, the curbing, etc., on his own without tying up funds, whether it be a premium on a performance bond or actually putting money in a bank of their savings. As you know, we've been doing this way for many years. At the point if he wants to convey one of the lots, he would have, and he hasn't finished, then he would have to come back before the town to ask for either a one lot of partial release of the covenant, and he has to post some security that both DPW as well as town council, SCL, would find acceptable.
Is DPW happy with this?
Yes.
Okay, because lately they've been asking for bonds for everything. And I know this is a very small subdivision. I assume that you are giving an easement, but I assume that eventually they would ask the town to accept the street.
Correct.
At some point, at which point the easement would be moot, really.
Right, it wouldn't be normally accepted until everything is completed. And to my understanding, I only think one or maybe two street acceptances have happened since the change of government.
Well, we just had one.
You said one
tonight.
All right, good.
That apparently went through. So yeah, it's doable. You know that what our concerns normally, if it was a big subdivision, you probably wouldn't go with the covenant.
Right.
Because you end up stranding people with roads that don't work. In this case, I don't think that's an issue.
It's fine. It's been going on for a long time.
And the Marinos live in a house right there on Pease Road.
I know, yeah.
One of the ones on either side.
I couldn't tell you which side. It's right on
Either side of the thing.
So they have a vested interest. It's not like they're a developer living somewhere else. And the intent really is that they make these 2 lots available to relatives.
Yeah, I understand that.
Are we opening the door if we do this differently than we've been handling other subdivisions that have been requiring bonds?
Well, we've been requiring bonds because DPW has asked us to do that.
Yeah.
If DPW is happy with this, then I'm happy with it.
Okay.
We didn't have any comments for tonight. If you wanted to double check, we could continue it to next week.
No, I don't want to hold it up.
I don't think it's necessary. This is an old issue that's.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to raise the issue because we've had people who've been coming in over the course of the last few years getting partial releases and so forth. So,
right.
Okay. All right. If you're comfortable, I'm comfortable.
With this.
Okay. So do we have a motion to, what are we doing here? Motion to
Accept the covenant and
endorse the plan.
endorse the plan.
Yep.
Exactly.
Do I have a motion to do so?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, saying nay? That item passes.
I presume if you've looked at the easement and all of us in the background have looked at it, that you're comfortable. It doesn't technically need your approval, but it's gone through all the filters.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
And just on your point, I have had numerous discussions with Tom Christensen over whether they're comfortable with the covenant, and they are.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item business director's report.
So we will be having a meeting next week, primarily a work session. We do have a couple waivers and then the A&R. What I'm trying to do is do a master plan hearing, so we can review the technical papers that were provided by the I had a conversation with Ken Comia this morning. They are just waiting on the final plans from their graphics team. Turn it into the final product. And what I'd like to do is do that joint meeting, if possible, next Tuesday. And I don't know any further concerns or comments. Get a feel for the planning boards in favor to adopt or
So can you send us what you have minus the graphics?
Yeah.
So we have opportunity to begin review everything?
So I won't be here, but I can probably just participate like Ty is doing in a remote sense if that's, I don't know what the legislation will be.
Because we won't be.
right. So I guess that's a good thing to update on. So the House met today to hopefully extend the open meeting law on emergency situation that we've had over the last year to allow for remote participation at the moment. And if they don't extend it, we can have, we don't have a remote participation policy in place. That would have to be authorized by Mary McNally and most likely also the town council. That's something that the town would opt into, and any public body within the town would then be able to do remote participation. That would only mean that Ty would be able to participate, for example, but you would still need a quorum physically present to hold the meeting. So that's a conversation that may be held in the future with town council and Mary, but
So as long as the three of them are here, wouldn't be, it would be, we would reach quorum.
right. But right now, without the extension from the state, you would not be able to vote. So you could listen, but your vote wouldn't count. So we're hopeful that it will at least be extended until the end of the summer, but we'll know more hopefully tomorrow.
So we have to do some scheduling. So in the matter of PLH LLC versus the town of East Longmeadow, it has been remanded again back to the planning board for the purpose of undergoing site plan review again. So I don't recall seeing it, but is it a whole new meeting, or do we just take everything that has already been submitted and act on it?
It sounds like they're saying to us, you will do this, you will do that, which in the you will do things are, you will revisit this, you will look at that. They read the thing. It's
so I don't
really demanding.
Can you send it to me again?
Yeah.
So John is not here next week. With Mr. Richards resigning his position on the planning board, that would leave 3 members of the planning board rather than 4, because Mr. Punderson has never participated in this because it was ongoing before he joined the board. So certainly it doesn't make sense to have 2 of us hear this matter.
I believe it also needs to be advertised.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Within 45 days.
So, and the other thing is, to the best of my knowledge, I've not been notified by the town manager on a replacement for Tide. So I am not trying to delay a hearing on this. I am trying to work within the schedule of the planning board members so that there will be a majority of, or there'll be a quorum here to be able to act on it. So it realistically, now we were always scheduled to take the week of July 4th off, which we have, since I've been on the board, not met that week. So that takes us to July 20th. So are we within the time frame required by the court to hold a hearing and still do the next issue, which I guess is within 10 days, file it with the town clerk? Is that the next step that would have to be taken in the order? I believe it's something like that.
45 days from the date of the order, and the order was June 8th.
July 8th.
22 and 22.
Yeah, so the 20th is extremely close. If everyone's available for the 13th, that might be a better.
But even though I can't vote, I'm still here as a member, so that's a quorum, isn't it?
You have to have a supermajority able to vote, but if we're holding a new hearing, then Pete is part of that hearing. Okay?
That might be something.
The fact that you didn't participate in the other hearing doesn't mean you can't participate in the new hearing.
If it's something brand new, it didn't sound like that when I read it. It just sounded like a revisit.
Can you get clarification?
Sure. On if you can participate.
Yeah, but and if there is a new planning board member appointed by the town manager,
situation,
they might be in the same situation.
Yeah, they will be.
And this, by putting it off until the 13th, which I'm available on 13th.
I'm available, yeah.
So let's not, make it narrow time frame. Let's schedule it for the 13th.
Would you like to have the 13th be a regular meeting with other public hearings, or just hear the?
I think I'd just like to have this. Yeah, you okay with that?
I'm good with
It's
that.
enough to swallow for one day, that's for sure. So is it, Bethany, can you find out, is it a new meeting?
Yeah. So I guess I'd like, some clarification.
That's a real salient point right there.
And hopefully, so I'm Rebecca and Bethany sat through a meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals last evening. They met to discuss whether they felt the conditions on the variance had been met. I believe there were 4 or 5 conditions, 3 of which have been met. Everyone agrees to that. The variance, no, it's not the variance, the easement as of last night, has not yet been delivered to the town. It was supposed to have been delivered today.
Okay.
There is still some debate on what constitutes an intermunicipal agreement. I think you've seen some of the documentation. There is apparently a fire aid, that's right, there was mutual aid for fire. There are letters, there's a letter from the town of Summers, from their first selectman and the state police officer that patrols. I was there because I wanted to express my opinion that a letter from our fire chief cannot bind the town because under the new charter, or under the charter, and George, you will recall this, the town manager is the chief executive officer who has the legal authority to sign agreements on behalf of the town.
Right.
So I put that out on the table. So that caused some
consternation.
I don't know, consternation. Maybe I just created more confusion. I don't know. But it was a very, very healthy debate. I will say that.
We've got everybody agreeing that everything's okay with the fire, police, the state police. Well, I saw, but you don't have an agreement that's signed by Mary, so what are you gonna do?
So they were, I guess their final vote, and please correct me if I'm wrong, they were essentially going to send everything to Mary with their recommendation that they felt that the conditions had been met. Did I get that far?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And just leave it into her hands. So as of right now, all the conditions have not yet been met. Okay. So maybe by the time it comes to us, it might be. We'll see. Did I miss anything? I want to make sure I accurately reflect the mood of the meeting.
correct. They did make a couple different motions.
Yeah.
This time, so I will be rewatching it to make sure I understand.
And we'll find out if it's new business so that I can participate in the quorum.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a new hearing because we closed the other hearing.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, so it's closed, it's
I
all.
believe it's a new hearing and you treat it as if it's the first time you've seen
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you, in the agreement, you cannot address the zoning issue. You have to treat the zoning.
Correct. Okay. That I do fully understand. Okay. So before I close, Mr. Richards.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a sad night for me. I spent 8 years. I love all you. You're awesome. You do a good job. And if anyone from the for any reason, I'd love to hear from you. Just give me a call, contact you for it. But thank you very much for everything. It was very sad. So
Thank you for your service, Tide.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, one thing.
Sure.
Do we need to take any action to extend the temporary change in special permits for restaurants?
Good point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What action do we need to take? Because the emergency is over and I don't think the legislature has acted on that yet.
They started to, I believe, yesterday, and they have not come up with anything official unless they have right now.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to see what their final verdict is on if they're extending it or not. It looked like they were planning to until December, if I remember correctly. Last fall, the town council and the planning board voted to extend outdoor dining 60 days after the state of emergency.
Right.
So we have a little bit of time to figure out what next.
Good.
I know Kevin Duquette has received a couple restaurants who would like to make their outdoor dining permanent. So he drafted up a short document of the steps they would need to go through, one of which would be an amendment to the special permit. So I will pass that around to the rest of the board for any comments or additional steps that you think would be necessary for that. And we'll just sort of go from there. Once we get the state's guidance, it'll be hopefully more clear.
Okay, so we've got 60 days to do something.
Yeah.
There's no hurry.
No.
But I just want the restaurants to know that we're thinking about them.
Yeah.
I guess one other thing while we're just talking kind of updates. So the Pride Fuel petition for their property at the Rotary has been received in the planning department. We have 65 days to we have 65 days in which to hold a hearing within that time frame. We have sent the application to the appropriate town boards, asked them to do a extended review of the plans. What makes it unusual is because of the size of the building that they are desiring to put up, they come in as a supermarket rather than a supermarket with gas pumps, rather than a convenience store. A convenience store with pumps would require special permit. A supermarket is an allowed use in a business zone. So that is something that we certainly, there's some discussions on whether that is an appropriate filing or not, but that will all get,
Is there any case law concerning this anywhere else in Mass?
I don't know about case law. I know Kevin Duquette's thought process was a site plan would go first with the redevelopment of the site, and a special permit would be required for the similar to the ice cream depot. We required both for the redevelopment and the use as a restaurant, and I believe the same was required for another gas station in town.
What was
that process?
Yeah.
So maybe the point of information, what was used, I mean, I feel like the best comparison I'm thinking of the sizes is going to be is that Atlanta station down by Shaker. Do we recall what the process was behind that?
That was a convenience store.
That was considered a
convenience store.
Okay.
Square feet larger than that.
Yeah, but still.
We can't get too deep into discussing it because it's not properly on our agenda, but I just
We
wanted
have an application yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that it's been filed, it's gone to the departments, we've asked them to begin their review process.
The time frame when we would be meeting, would this be maybe in?
That would likely be the July 20th meeting.
Maybe.
And it was announced today that Pride is being sold, but not to whom. That what? Pride is being sold. Bolduc is selling, Mr. Bolduc is selling Pride.
Where was the mayor?
He,
His GM.
no, in his interview with Mass Live, he said it was going to be a major oil company or a major convenience store company. One or the other.
That's interesting.
Okay, so, but he obviously can't reveal who yet, he's still in talks. But whether or not that will impact this particular filing, we don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to just take it as it comes.
At the moment, we don't have any public hearings. I'm going to wait and see what the state's guidance is as far as what the next meeting will be in person or via Zoom.
Okay.
This probably also means that if the change in ownership goes through, all the special permits need to be redone, just like amendments. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
All right.
a comment.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's a
Remember
true
to
comment.
sign the plans on your way out.
Okay.
There's also the covenant to sign over there as well.
Okay, thank you. So the meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Do we have to vote?
I thought we did.
No.
Okay, so just a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.